The surviving members of the 1959 Southland side that took the Ranfurly Shield from Taranaki enjoyed a 50-year reunion this past weekend, and to a man were confident the 2009 version were capable of the same. Between the Stags and Immortality, though, stands the most successful rugby entity in the professional era. Canterbury has but one focus this evening, as an Air New Zealand Cup home semi is a given, so the one goal for Rob Penny's young Chargers is defending the most coveted trophy in the sport. These players are championed as the future of red and black rugby, but right now it's only today that really counts. Southland rugby fans have totally embraced the cup competition and have been immensely proud of what the Stags have achieved, but it will pale in comparison with an outpouring of passionate fervour to the point of frenzy should the Log of Wood spend the summer at Rugby Park Stadium. Former All Black John Preston is with me in the box, and your predictions, John, in this exciting clash.
Oh, predictions, Tom. Yeah, that's a toughie, but the thing I do predict is it should be a cracker. No doubt about that. A very hard one to pick in my book. This Canterbury side here, I heard earlier in the week after the All Blacks had left the fray and left these younger lads to it, that there was perhaps a little bit of disbelief, not something you get used to in Canterbury sides, and Southland have had plenty of belief throughout the season.
Yes, and the advice they've received from those that have been there, done that, the likes of Soper, Kevin Laidlaw, Spud Tate, Robin Archer, was to commit numbers to the breakdown, woof the opponents, that was the expression, keep the back line moves simple, draw and pass, draw and pass. Let's see if that transpires. Huge day for the captain, Jamie Mackintosh. So disappointed last year against Auckland, when it wasn't until the last 10 minutes or so before the team fired into action and nearly won it even then. They've learnt that lesson well. And this back line that have got real confidence over the last two outings has only had the one change. When they announce the Stag Player of the Year, surely the name Jason Rutledge will be there or thereabouts. With a work ethic second to none, the Woodlands rake is nearing a century of matches in maroon and would dearly like to add the Shield to the list of achievements for a proud rugby family. Experience aplenty throughout the starting eight. There's no doubting Jimmy Cowan played an influential role in turning around Southland's fortunes in the past fortnight, dictating the terms from all facets of play. That mantle now handed to his younger brother Scott. Scooter, as they call him, is keen to show he can be just as deft on the run and off the boot. Championship game number 50 for Glenn Horton. Uatamariki has recovered well from a turned ankle, takes his place on the bench alongside Mika. Never lets the team down. So Canterbury, their opponents awaiting them on Amine Stadium, and perhaps the biggest test so far of George Whitelock's captaincy. Not just that Southland came here in good form, but pulling together this combination and instilling them with the confidence to maintain the reputation of this wonderful football dynasty here in Canterbury. Isaac Ross still proving a point. Colin Slade got a nasty knock in the warm-up, but is taking his place in the 15. The home crowd will be grateful for that as the land ushers the team onto the field. When one pack concedes so many caps to the other, the onus falls upon the most seasoned to lead the way. That role for Canterbury will go to Ti'i Polo. The former Tasman captain will be familiar with inspiring an 8 short on first-class game time. Mike Patterson, James Broadhurst and Isaac Ross offer Polo plenty of line-out options. With all due respect to the skills of Andrew Ellis, the Canterbury backline hardly skipped a beat when Tyson Keats covered for injury. This dangerous runner and feisty competitor has a shield to defend plus a Super 14 place to secure, so won't be short of incentive. Helping that number 9 is a backline that makes up in class with their lack in experience. A bag full of departures last summer, 8 more players now on All Black duty, and still Canterbury can leave an ex-All Black on the bench, Casey Laulala. Now that is depth personified. The all-essential refereeing duties in the hands of Chris Pollock. The match about to get underway. The most important of the season as far as Southland's concerned. Their hopes for progress in the Air New Zealand Cup rest on the shoulders of these 15 men. But just for today, more importantly, the future of the Ranfurly Shield. Robbie Robinson gets play underway with a high towering kick. There's a good contest. It's won by Southland, parried back. Inside their own territory, Jason Carwell tidies it up, and immediately they keep it in hand before the boot kick chips it over the top. It will be covered, but contestable. Dragged in very nicely indeed by Slade, who got his pass away. Looking good on the sideline for a moment, Canterbury, but ran out of space. And will go down sideline for conditions with Ian Smith.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, well, I've had a lot of drizzle this afternoon, a lot of low cloud and miserly sort of stuff, but it hasn't been that bad that it's affected the ground surface too much. It's a very still night as well, so no advantage in that regard. Here's Rutledge with the first throw.
He's been very accurate with the throw, as was then Josh Beckwith provided the ball. Scott Cowan tidied. Rutledge in the play again. A low pass put on the deck, and the first mistake is Southland's. The first scrum will be Canterbury's.
Very early mistake. Robbie Robinson, obviously a key man tonight as well. It's just big occasions like this do test players. He's only a young lad, but he's class.
Well, a knock. And the pass from Rutledge. How good was it, John?
Well, it wasn't flash, it was low, no doubt about that, but this guy should pick those ones up. Probably thinking about the next job in the early stages.
He'll be nervous, understandably so. Meteoric rise to the top tier of domestic rugby. High expectations. There's T. Paulo, most experienced pack member now for Canterbury today. 1 minute you're on the bench, next you're the most seasoned player in the 8. So not too much pressure.
Massive changes. There's Canterbury forward pack, whole front row to start with from last week. Thorne, of course, not there as well.
Tyson Keats, right shot of the first scrum. Solid enough. It's one area that Southland would hope to dominate. If you turn around behind you, Ian, is there a swathe of maroon in the stand?
Actually, I'll tell you what, when I came down in the lift and I've just been around the outsides of the ground, there's a very big Southland presence at the ground. Tom, you'll be pleased to know a lot of people made the effort to come up. I think there's a genuine belief tonight.
Yes, I think at least 300 travellers, plus of course a huge expat population up here. And Shield challenges don't come around that often, so they make the extra effort to come out and support their team.
Too early.
So, first scrum messy. Nasi Manu, though, will get things going in a forward motion. Boys around the ankle slows them down, but the big man got good position on the ground. Ross not quite so lucky. He's held up for a moment. Is he able to free it? Yes, indeed. Keats looks at a kick and changes his mind. It's placed nicely back by Michael Patterson. Now 5 out from the 22, Canterbury, and being accurate at the moment. There's not too many Southland forwards committed to that breakdown, so there's enough to make the tackle. But once again, Manu makes good progress. Halfway through the tackles, gains a couple of metres. Showing extreme patience, Canterbury at the moment. And doing things accurately, Paulo. But on this occasion, illegally.
And I think Hardy might have been the man who eventually had his hands on the ball, but there were 3 Southland jerseys there. It was nicely worked from Canterbury for a number of phases. It's just a little bit of isolation, and Southland will be looking for this all night, and Canterbury know it.
Well, you could tell from the cheer in the crowd that there are a large travelling contingent.
Let's just have a look at the tacklers here. Rutledge, and it's Cowan actually is the man. He does the damage. He's on his feet, had his hands on the ball initially. Now it's his.
Beckwith was the first target. There are numerous. This time it was 2 now, but they've lost it. So first turnover the way of Canterbury, but they held on the ground, so the good work was undone by the home side.
On the ground.
Southland retrieved that position.
Rutledge at the bottom of that again. Really having an impact, and Tyson Keats, he's an aggressive wee player, but he is wee. And taking on some of these Southland forwards, he's going to need help.
I bet that discussion was about the lost line out.
Go now, boys.
Well, that's twice they've been pinged, isn't it, Canterbury, for the same offence, and this time it's Rutledge all over the top of the little fella Tyson Keats. 2 average sort of touches for Robbie Robinson. That one a much more decisive touch finder.
And a better line out too, with Tuinau very decisive in his take. But players getting in front of each other. Another penalty, this time the way of Canterbury.
Yeah, well, possibly a wee bit unlucky there, actually, Southland. Canterbury players, they broke away and just found themselves with Southland players in front of the ball carrier. 2 and out.
Stephen Brett, no angle.
Well, Mr. Pollock, who had a pretty influential last 30 seconds in the match with Hawke's Bay last week, he was the man in charge, has certainly usurped his authority very early on this week, JP.
He has. Certainly not pulling any punches, Smithy. He's going to make a statement.
An important throw for Poilo. Taking his time. No problems off the top for Broadhurst. Looked after better this time by the Cantabs. Got a little knock on.
That's untidy. Very untidy from Canterbury. Set piece. This is the area that we thought Southland might look to attack. They'll be looking to niggle wherever they can here, upset that Canterbury ball, and they've done it well so far.
Canterbury have kept things pretty much up front when they've had possession. Now Southland's opportunity. What will they do?
Touch, pause, engage.
Scrum tidy, protected by Hall. And Cowan gets the pass away to Robinson. He goes to the air. It's chaseable. Might be a shade too far. No, it's well judged. It's taken by Slade. He's wrapped up by Carwell. Slade obviously highly competent under the high ball.
They've got him up though.
No chance to play it from a kick and play though, I think.
Yeah, good strength to hold on to it too. Nicely taken initially. He's just remained determined. He wasn't going to lose that one.
The shape of games involving Southland this year has been very tight first halves where there's been nothing in it, and then they've slowly grind the teams down and take control in the second half of the games they've won.
Touch,
It'll be
pause,
interesting if that's the philosophy here against such a good counter-attacking team. They probably want a healthy lead at the break. Getting it's going to be easier said than done. Horton's kick this time. Not fielded so clearly, but Manu was back there and he parried it across. Good cover by Maitland, counter-attack. And as you would expect, pace aplenty from out wide. Change of direction. Brett now, for his first tactical kick, finds space inside the 22, over the touchline. Exquisite.
Yeah, nice first touch there. Stephen Brett from the boot. Interesting option, actually, from Isaac Ross. I wonder if he had the call from Brett. Change of direction. They clearly decided there wasn't too much on that left-hand blind, so space on the right was taken.
Interesting tactics in. Southland going to the air a couple of times and risking that counter-attack.
Yeah, the kick's just, well, that kick was much more on the money, but the chase wasn't good enough. Not enough pressure.
Cowan does the tidying up work from the Tuinau catch. Kunwau comes in at half with Cowan busy on the bottom of the ruck. Kick off the side of the boot, stay on the field of play. Will have to be fielded as the pass is poor and trouble for Maitland. There's a scramble on the ground. It's been won by Southland. Good determination by the Stags. Pass slightly knocked down, but recovered well by Rutledge. Gets it to Robinson. He finds space this time. There's no one covering. So Southland get a territorial gain.
And an important gain as well. Robbie Robinson, he was under huge pressure. Deep in his own territory, forced onto that left foot. Wasn't a great kick, actually. This is where it came down. Tia Paula had the time, just threw a poor pass towards Maitland. Canterbury in all sorts of trouble, but good chase and good pressure from Southland. Lead to this turnover in the kick.
And there's John Hardy, one of those two successful open side flankers this season. Scavenging the ball successfully. Defensive line out for Canterbury, and Ross, no problems. Line out for Canterbury looking very slick at the moment. High ball for Saunders to field, he does so. Feigns the pass, runs straight into the captain and injures him. That could be a double blow. I think he's winded the skipper.
He just got that one wrong, didn't he? Decision making probably wasn't quite sure. Mackintosh was headed himself. Had plenty of time. Yeah, Mackintosh moving back towards Saunders made it difficult for him. It's just turned over ball for nothing, really.
Well, they'd run a great cover for him too. One of the Southland players getting well and truly in the way of the chase of Umaga Marshall. He was the first Canterbury player on the scene, so it was set up for a very good counter-attack. So neither side really looking that polished once we get away from a line-out situation. Canterbury looking a bit ragged, Southland too. Obviously a lot of nerves.
And Chris Pollock would be one player that would sympathise with Mackintosh after a similar collision last week. Put him on his haunches.
Slade clearly took a good knock in the warm-up, as you said, Tom.
Crouch.
Doubtful just before kick-off.
Well, he hasn't backed away from his defensive duties, so no long-term damage. And is there any breeze now, Ian, to contemplate a kick at goal?
Oh, well, I'm just looking at the flags on top of the Hadley stand. They're basically limp, to be honest. So I think there's a chance here for Stephen Brett, maybe just to settle the game down, get some points on the board. But timing will have to be very good.
4 penalties in the first 10 or 11 minutes. He's got the Southland scrum in general, front row particularly, for walking around.
My impression, Ian, is that both teams look a bit nervous, sort of tiptoeing through the game rather than inserting themselves.
Well, I think Robbie Robinson does. I will say that, Tom, some of his touches haven't been as sublime as we're used to seeing from him. And it may well be a battle of these 10s if it's going to be a nip and tuck sort of a game. So psychologically, this is quite a big moment for Stephen Brett.
The percentages suggest not a great deal of accuracy. 64 is a little bit below what they would like. However, Brett's kicking them from this sort of range, and there's some allowance for that. And the crowd are really barracking. So, not used to continuing with that at AMI Stadium. Brett from what would be 50. It might make it just under the crossbar.
Well, a little surprising, not the distance. Stephen Brett's boot. We've seen in this competition that most kickers haven't had too many problems from around the halfway mark. Bit of angle, of course, but not the start he was looking for.
Sigh of relief for the men in maroon. This kick will go pretty much downtown as expected. Centre field. And the high kick from Bateman. Now this is just outside the 22, so an excellent kick and an excellent catch from Glenn Horton. Made a huge impact on this side since being called up mid-season. However, he might have been out-muscled on the ground. He has, and Ti'i Paulo is responsible. So that's a good turnover for Canterbury in a very attacking position. A short side which they could capitalise on. Manu is out wide. He runs straight into Saunders and can't keep the ball in the field of play, but danger snuffed out.
Well, again, nicely taken from Horton. Not pretty clear, but Keats and Slade had chased well. Horton brings it down here. Keats had just gone past him then. Slade just manages to get him behind. This led to the turnover. Slade had popped left after coming from the tackle, but a lot of maroon jerseys.
Canterbury dearly loves some turnover ball here. They've got one piece. They fail on this occasion. Tuinuiao too strong. And Cowan's kick only just outside the 22, if that. Now Canterbury have a throw inside the danger quarter.
Well, that's pretty ordinary clearance as well. Really, not a lot of yardage. Cowan.
First signs, JP, they really don't want to give Nasi Manu too many opportunities. He's made 3 very good runs.
Yeah, he's an impact runner. There's no doubt about that, Smithy.
So a lot of talking in the South line out. Rutledge giving a lot of instruction. Poirot knows what the plan is, and Isaac Ross not tidy. Rutledge knocks it on, trying to regather. A little bit unlucky. Canterbury get away with a mistake.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of fun at line out time by Canterbury. Isaac Ross just lost control of it at the top of his jump.
Well, I need you to get up closer. You need to come closer.
Good hustling and bustling by Poirot, though, made it difficult for Rutledge. It helped
Crouch.
mitigate the
Touch.
damage.
Pause. Engage.
Keats, big scrun, Canterbury controlled by Manu initially, bobbled a pass and made good use of it in the end.
8.
Up to the 22 almost. Now starting to show a little more oomph in the run, Canterbury. And Poirot takes it inside the 22, wrestled to the ground, gets the ball back and it's protected. So cleared by Borlase. And the passing not the slickest, that puts Maitland on the back foot when he hit the defensive line. He gets the ball away and it's looked after nicely enough. It wasn't pretty initially. Manu, a bit doubtful as to what to do, so he just goes straight. Got his pass away to Paulo. It's high pressure stuff, but good ball retention. Tackle goes over the top of Keats and the referee happy to play on, and so he should be. Now Brett senses an opportunity. They like going straight, this team, and Slade is leading them. He's put the ball behind them. There's players diving from all quarters. It's still with Canterbury. The post is just 5 metres away. Southland under immense pressure. This good defence sorely tested. Ollerenshaw gets no closer. The best attacking team against the best defensive team in the competition. And the difference between them could be found out right here. Going sideways at the moment's Canterbury. Yet showing good control. The drop kick is on. The drop kick is over. First points to the home side. 3-0 Stephen Brett. 3-0 Canterbury.
That's pretty clinical stuff too from Canterbury. No panic. Stephen Brett, he knew they'd battled away for a while. The Southland defence, as you've said, Tom, has been outstanding this season. Canterbury don't want to take any more chances. Take some points while you're down there.
Also an acknowledgement too of the Southland defence, because they did defend and very strongly across their line there. Canterbury could make no inroads around the fringes, so in the end they have had very few forays down to that end of the ground. Canterbury, they wanted to come away with something, they did, but not much.
Canterbury didn't spend a lot of time that close, so they know the importance of those early points. Remembering, of course, a draw is good enough for Canterbury to retain. Brett's kick, not his best effort, but certainly chaseable. Not taken this time by Horton, but the tidy-up work has been good by Carwell and Saunders in unison. Ball is protected well. Cowan senses some support. Hall is the man with the ball. He has no space to work with, and it runs out quickly.
Just competitive around those fringes. Neither side really allowing much room at all. Almost fearful to take the ball too far by themselves, in danger of getting isolated.
Skipper got a problem. George Whitelock just down on its haunches here. So neither side all of a sudden looking that convincing under the high ball either. Glenn Horton really overrunning that one, and Southland scrambling their way out of it.
Doesn't look to be any rain as such, Smithy, but is there any moisture on the ground?
Just threatening a little bit of rain as you speak, JP, but no, I think the surface has held up pretty well, to be honest.
Nasi Manu, well, we've already mentioned him. In fact, Smithy has. He's been dangerous, powerful on the run. He's taking tacklers with him if he doesn't bust. So straight through two there. It was Hall and Mackintosh. Again, they use these players wide out to Canterbury, some of their big runners. They create all sorts of problems at times. Bumped off boys there and got the pass away.
He's had to fight for his position in the team. So making a statement now that he's around to stay in this number 8 jersey for the remainder of the season.
I wouldn't say George Whitelock's a big hope to carry on here. In fact, he's coming off. So that is a huge blow to the defenders here, Canterbury. And in jersey 19, all of a sudden it's becoming a big night for Matt Todd.
Yeah, big impact experience again, Tom.
It's these games, though, that can make him break those new players. He's got a grand chance to show his wares for 60 minutes. The long pass from Bateman eludes everyone except Horton. But the mistake was made. The scrum goes Southland's way.
Really the first time sign of Canterbury going wider from set phase. Half an opportunity too. Not an easy one, but catchable.
This is a huge test now of Canterbury's leadership skills within the pack remaining. Expect Paulo to step up one more level. A tight head, so that's a terrific response to adversity, losing that captain and coming straight back into the game with a tight head. And 5 inside the 22 are Canterbury, now controlling a good deal of the territory and possession. Left they go this time. There's no players out there, so resetting at midfield. Keats, well, the little backflip pass to Isaac Ross. Brett standing out as if he's going to have another drop goal at some stage. That's not the intention in that move where Broadhurst was put on his back. Keats looks composed and in no hurry. Now Brett runs it. Quick hands, quick defence, and it bustles and hustles Maitland into touch.
Outstanding defence again from Southland, boosting defence in fact. Scrum here. Yeah, it was a rebound, I think, or a kick through from Southland hooker, and that led to the tight head.
Now, 1/4 of the game gone. Stagg showing his muscles.
The most effective thing for Southland, JP, is the fact they're slowing down this ball for Canterbury, and that really is that's got to be the key for the local side. If they can recycle it quicker, they've got to get it to those backs because that is their strength area. But Southland just denying them that opportunity. Tim Bateman has taken over the leadership, we're told, for Canterbury.
Yeah, you did right, Smithy. Canterbury certainly favour the quick rack ball to unleash those backs, and Southland will know that, and they're throwing numbers, plenty of defenders at any Canterbury attacker who takes ball to the line. And, quite often coming off better than the Canterbury attacker.
Chris King has been central to the success of the pack. Played both sides of the scrum equally well. Isaac Ross looking on as Dr. Finlayson in his 23rd year as the doctor for the Southland side. No question that King will carry on. Responsibility for Bateman too, just a young guy really in terms of game experience. And New Zealand Maori and a former Colt. Now calling the shots for Canterbury. The second turnover at line-out time, and there was big raps on the Southland line-out before this match that they would be the one stealing the throw-in.
Still got advantage to Black.
So they're reading the calls, Canterbury, you'd have to say that. And they're showing that they can too drive it up the middle. This has been a successful Southland employee this season. It's being used against them. They must rally.
Over here.
Penalties come Canterbury's way. And David Hall down on the deck. So there's been a few injuries in this first quarter.
Yeah, they have, and I think Chris Pollock's got him for dragging down the initial drive, the initial rolling maul. And then they reset it, and they look very imposing, Canterbury, didn't they, JP, until one player gets isolated.
Yeah, that's just such the danger, isn't it? And Southland have almost gone to this match. You wonder, certainly wanting to go well on their own set piece, but knowing that when Canterbury players do break away, that's the opportunity. The player that breaks, get to that breakdown in numbers, and that's where you turn ball over. But that's 3 against the throw. Line out of Southland. I think one of those ended up in Canterbury turning it over themselves. 3 against the throw and a tidy head, Tom.
Hey, for a team that prides themselves in their forward displays, and if that's been the foundation of their success this year, they'll be bitterly disappointed with those stats. But they can put it right.
So this is where George Whitelock got thrown out of the ruck situation. That's where the injury occurred.
Question for you, John. 83% territory, 59% possession. They don't look like they're lining up a kick. Are they trying to ram home the psychological advantage?
Well, we'll wait and see what he does, but yeah, I just thought they might be going for corner, doesn't it? I suppose when you have that much territory, in particular, Tom, that you know you've got to take points because it's unlikely you're going to dominate that much throughout the match.
Well, maybe they've got confidence after those last couple of drives that they can do the business here. Canterbury at line-out time, because it's been good. That's a bad throw.
To get away with it, though, it was parried back, and Manu was up to the task, aware of the opportunity. 5 out. They're trying to get closer to the posts. Succeeding in doing so. Now the backs get a touch. No, Ross hasn't finished with the ball yet. He's held up off the ground. How strong is he? It'll be the question. The turnover has come this time to the Stags. Cowan hesitates, now goes in the other direction, kicks the ball as far as he possibly can. It doesn't go out, and it's taken cleanly by Tuamanga Marshall. So that was not an easy task, carried out to perfection. Second drop kick coming to Brett, he pushes it to the left.
Oh, tremendous turnover again from Southland. Isaac Ross lost ball. The answer to your question was not strong enough, Tom, and I think it was Hardy. He did the damage.
So more work at the gym.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I mean, Southland, opportunity to clear their area, and it was a poor kick. Here goes Isaac Ross into the tackle. And that's where it was stolen. Yeah, it was Hardy. Made the tackle. Upright tackle, hands on ball, and ripped it.
Hua Tamariki in 19 for David Hall.
Yes, I think Tamariki had a part to play in that as well. Many people thought he might make the starting 15. He's been under an injury cloud, and that perhaps is what put him on the bench. Kunwayu accurate when the ball was put in the air. Cowan holds it up, is in a tackle from which he will have trouble extricating the ball, but gets it courtesy of the more collapsing and Southland going forward.
Southland will just be desperate here to try and get some territory, I think, now. The set piece, of course, they have to win set piece ball. And this is David Hall, who got buckled under Jamie Mackintosh, that left knee. Ugly.
This is a familiar position. Lester Rutledge, of course, his son on the field. Lester tells me he's lost count of how many times he personally played for the Shield. He thinks 5, 6 or 7. He's been the manager a couple of times, a coach a few times, and not succeeded yet. He thinks today he may be due to be part of history. There's a long way to go, and they'll need a lot more ball and territory if they're to make that history. Slade backs himself to recover his own kick, and does so with brilliance. There was congestion there. He found his way through it. Brett now finds a little bit of space, which is closed down by the covering Cowan. He chips the ball back. Brett will be able to cover. He'll have time to just take the safety of the in-goal area. And he does.
As Smithy pointed out a little earlier on, some of that Southland kicking just not on the money. I think that's a bit shallow from Robbie Robinson. This is tremendous work from Slade, clearly, because there was a lot of attention, but lovely skill to take that off the one hand and then regain. That's Paula here again, but then Southland just kicking that bit too far.
Well, it's a high-risk counter-offensive by Slade, but it's got the skills and, of course, the confidence now to carry those things off. This will go straight to Ross. So Slade's option, best one, is to put the ball high. I don't think he'll get to it landing. Robinson gets it on the second take. Then he gets tackled by Orenshaw. Got the pass away, but it was lost forward. And Hardy couldn't hold on this time round.
Well, a lot of Southland backs sort of standing looking at each other here. Saunders out to the right, Kenny Lynn. It's just not going right for them. I think they'll feel quite relieved. They're only 3 down on the scoreboard. They just cannot get anything flowing.
Just that little more pressure to Smithy. Guys have to respond to it. Perhaps haven't been used to it up to this particular match. And there he is, with the buckled knee.
There'll be swarms of Southland supporters here and at home that will be familiar with his position. A shaky first half, but staying within reach of their opponents gives them a chance to come back at them in the second 40, but they've got to close these moves down. They do temporarily, but Keats made good progress. Cowan is opposite, got there, but they gained 15 metres and control of possession. The pass was across the back line. That one went astray. Canterbury were very dangerous had it been taken in. Umaga Marshall gets a second turn. He fobs off Rutledge, gets the pass away. Beautiful pickup by Isaac Ross. Backdoor pass. Good continuity here by the red and black. This is slick stuff. Maitland gets it on the outside. No, he holds on to it. That was sensible. No space to work with. That was Canterbury at their best because there was pressure from the defence. They got through it. Now they've slowed things down and having a rethink about the strategy. Freed with the boot by Keats. No way through in that tight squeeze. More defending to be done for Southland. The ball protected. Pick and go, doesn't go far. Ball, so many hands on the ground there. This is better presentation of the ball. I'm impressed at Canterbury not rushing things, although even then they made a mistake. Here's a counter chance for Southland. They decided just to go for the territory and get a bit of breathing space, and they do that. The ball bounces unkindly. Maitland holds on to it. There's no way that Canterbury will try and counter from here. They'll put the kick in. It may go too far. The scrum might be back on the 10-metre mark. It is.
Oh, wobbly kick it was from Southland, the clearing kick. Maitland had all sorts of trouble. Could have been very dangerous. He ended up giving it to Crotty. He's just put us a bit too far. With some scrum ball in Canterbury territory now for Southland.
Well, which scenario is going to play it? Is Southland going to wear Canterbury down, stay within close range and take it from there, or is Canterbury eventually going to break through just because of the constant pressure? What's your call, Ian?
Well, I don't know if you guys picked up how brilliant Isaac Ross's ball skills are. I tell you what, when they put him in the gym to bulk him up, I hope he loses none of that. He's fantastic with his hands.
Yeah, hard to be both, isn't it?
He's been everywhere too. He's tidied up a lot of loose ball. Tamariki. Ball sitting nicely enough for Cowan. They have 2 grabs at it though, interfering boots. Rutledge, he'll be one that only wants to go in a singular direction. It's left out there without any help. They have recovered it though. Just a temporary blip in this attack. Robinson's pass is across to Horton. His first chance to run. He's been so penetrative this year. And then the pass goes astray to Kunwayu. And nobody kicks the ball.
Yeah, just a little uncertainty all around. It's gone again, Tom.
Yep, it's a quick throw in. Lynn was on to the chance. Here's Saunders, taken by Ollerenshaw. Now there's a bit more energy and spark in the Southland effort. Hardy. They certainly need to change those position and territory stakes, and grand opportunity to do so. Beckwith gets to the ground safely. Dummy runners. Robinson now bringing in Horton. He got his pass. Well, no, he didn't. He held it back cleverly. Unfortunately, the players had gone past him, and Canterbury may well have turned this over as a consequence. And Keats is confident they've got it anyway through the scrum.
Better passage from Southland though. Very nearly manipulated the space in the line there. Glenn Horton just needed to run it in the right spot. The whitish pass from Robinson. Good change of angle. Kenny Lynn, I think it was. Oh, and it was Saunders who was possibly available. But Canterbury defence is held.
No, you just keep cutting in and out.
More injuries. It's been that physical. Rutledge down among the wounded.
Yeah, you get the feeling it's going to be like this.
First time Southland have been able to inject a bit of pace or a bit of some phases together, although Canterbury's defence too was quite resolute. Just feels, JP, as if something's going to give shortly, something's going to break.
Yeah, it's got that feel about it. This side here, in the red and black, been in this situation a lot of times in Shield games. So they'd still be backing themselves, although there's a lot of youth.
He won't be enjoying what he's watching. His team only just in the lead, but he can play no further part towards Whitelock.
Only looking figure there, isn't he?
So, half an hour gone, just 3 points. A single drop goal to Stephen Brett.
Blind all their backs. Open. Yeah, Canterbury.
Good scrum by Southland. That's made life difficult for Manu, but he's done well. He's got that individual strength. Ball available. Now Brett looking for distance. He evades the cover, puts it back inside the 22, and that's yet another fine kick from the first 5.
Oh, that's a beauty. That has taken a lot of yards for Canterbury. He hit it low, skidded off the surface a little bit, just kept it away from Kumwayu. Canterbury happy for the ball to go out. They've had no joy stealing line-out ball.
Now, Canterbury, knowing they've already pinched 3, won't mind this position at all. Oh, have they got a 4th? No. Better play from Southland. Cowan keeps his head down when the kick goes up and Kunwayu chases. It's taken by Maitland, who gets rid of the ball in the tackle, and Slade has nowhere else to go but up in the air. Horton should have no problems. He doesn't. He can kick it out on the full if he wishes. And doesn't quite make it. So the return from Bateman, taken by Cowan just outside his 22. He repays in kind. Still the option for Brett to kick it out in the full is denied. And he puts it out on the full anyway, but this time it'll cost him territory.
Well, that kicking duel came about because of the Southland chase, really. From that first kick, they just allowed Canterbury no space, forced them to kick, tit for tat, until someone makes a mistake.
Line out for Rutledge, recovered from his knock. Boys, one of the options that they use sometimes. This time it's Beckwith, palmed back. Half volley for Cowan. Carwell is impeded because the tackle fell on top of him. Tamariki doesn't get his hands to the ball, so the claims for a knock-on are invalid. This kick is chaseable also. Not taken well. Knock-on. Canterbury advantage Southland. That advantage is over. Boys on the outside. Taken in a tackle by Ross. He's not put on the deck as yet. And he recycles well, Tim Boys. Now Southland's best chance. That pass was flat. It was taken by Kunwayu. Referee had no problems allowing play to carry on. Here's Tuiniao. Hauled to the ground. Canterbury think they've got a turnover. Canterbury have a turnover, but it's not legal.
Stephen Brett on the ground, I think, playing the ball.
6, leave it. Stay up and get out.
Oh, now that we look at this one.
Might have been 19. Yes. Certainly he has hands on the ball.
Colin Slade just misjudged this one. He really did. Nowhere near it. Tried to trap it, but lost total control. Southland initially, well, immediately really, saw that there was opportunity to go here. Some boys did well. Good strength, the whole ball. The opportunity was always going to be wide and left. I just wonder about this pass here from Saunders. A little bit too far, and it was poor. It was low as well. Kumwayu.
Well, normally a bit of a gift. The extra pressure, maybe not so. Seen a little bit of drizzle around too, so a few distractions, but you'd still think a leveller. And it is 3-all. Nearly 35 minutes gone, and a very happy Southland contingent.
And a good sign for them too, Smithy. Southland have spent very little time down there in Canterbury territory, and they've taken points straight away.
That's dead right, and that's got to be psychologically affecting this Canterbury side. He'll be barking instructions from the sideline, instructions of belief, because yes, Southland are having the better part of this last part of this first half.
This kick kept in by Ross, but knocked on. So Southland will get it one way or t'other. They'll get a scrum.
I had no choice. Why was that Ross? Otherwise it was out in the full. So certainly prefer to scrum in this territory, in this area, rather than midfield.
Just sort of sense Southland growing in confidence. They know that they've defended their line brilliantly under pressure, especially around the fringes. Just growing.
The rain getting a little bit heavier, Smithy, is it?
Yep, it is.
It is such a familiar pattern. One that Southland will be quite comfortable with.
Touch. Pause. Game.
Blunting the attack.
9.
And then doing the damage themselves, second 40. Canterbury will be well aware, though, that that is the threat. And Robinson puts it down. Went backwards, though, so it won't cost him too much, apart from a little propulsion.
5 roll.
Turns and feeds, and the ball still available to Southland. Robinson gets another crack. In fact, it was Kenny Lynn on that occasion that cleared the ball. Slade, no pressure this time. Umaga Marshall. Brett. Maitland. Nowhere to go. Placement is the key. May to be more Southland players there. There were. Cowell. Now's a counter chance. This kick will be a rather soft option. Easily taken by Slade. John Preston shaking his head. That kick's a good one from Horton. As if on the boundary. His run's not bad either. Beckuous in support. Dragged down. Carwell's the next man there, but he's in a clean-out job. Now they go right. Robinson this time. The kick goes through. And I think that's just giving away good position. Lynn, aware of the danger, but he creates some of his own by kicking it straight to Nasibabu. And he's going to play on the outside. It was Cowan. Robinson in a scrambling roll. Pressure now coming on the Stags, going backwards. Cowan will want to get rid of it. It's charged down. And it'll be a dropout 22 because it was charged down in the field of play.
God, how things can change very quickly. Very dangerous stuff here. Nasi Manu ran strongly. Saunders timed his run superbly in support. Took the ball. Robinson was under pressure. Look at the Canterbury defenders. Tried the squeeze ball. Had to flick it back with his hand. Then Cowan himself under pressure, but they scrambled out of it somehow.
How many bad kicks in that passage of play from Southland? How much ball are giving straight back to Canterbury? That's too dangerous.
Well, it started with the Cowan one very on it. Then this one here for Robinson. And that's just running out of ideas, sort of a kick, that one, really. That was poor.
I feel sorry for you, JP. You're going to get a sore neck the way you were. This is a chance again for Canterbury because another kick's gone astray. Although the numbers have protected Southland's position, the ball goes safely into touch, and perhaps Canterbury will have one last foray at the Stags line.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, Tiupolo is miles across the line. No wonder that's charged down.
Yeah, we can forgive the kicker for that one. Well, Paulo took his chances. He knows how to apply that little subtle pressure. He also knows how to find his man in the line-out. And away goes Canterbury. A try just before half-time would be a painful blow for Southland. But it's one Canterbury will feel they've earned. Here's Brett. What can he spark? Now they look for the cross pass. The intercept was on. It was Rutledge. May not have made the meterage, but it would have been a handy turnover.
Oh, scary decision. Jason Rutledge, if he hadn't got a hand on that. Canterbury were looking dangerous at this stage. Bateman, the wide pass. Oh, just enough.
Well, he may not have got to the line, but boy, he would have died trying. Especially with your father yelling at you from the sideline 3 feet away.
Still, you've got to think Southland will believe if they can walk off, if they can withstand this last effort from Canterbury. The defence, Canterbury has thrown so much at them. so much.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Yes, and the question is, who's the tiredest, the defending team or the team that's attacked without any fruits of their labour?
Still on that little crucial time before the half-time and straight after. And so often points are scored. Teams just lose concentration. Very little time left in this one, obviously, but never rule it out.
A lot of nervous faces on the bench by Mika there. He's the replacement should Mackintosh not continue, but he didn't even rise, so he knows what the score is there. He also knows it's 3-all, so what a tense encounter this has turned out to be.
Marshall just sitting in between Crotty and Bateman. Using the full width. Their formation, Canterbury as well. Bateman, a far touchline.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Up.
Scrum good from Canterbury. Manu, one of the players of the day so far. Here's Brett accelerating. Here's the gap. It was a forward pass. Brett doesn't agree, neither does the crowd, but Pollock has made the call.
That's pretty well worked too. Got well on the front foot, Canterbury. It's not going to matter, as we see in the dummy runner, was Crotty. No, it probably was forward as well.
Well, a controversial note to end as far as Brett's concerned, but the score says 3-all, Southland against Canterbury at the halftime break here at AMI Stadium. We'll be back with a very exciting second 40, I'm sure.
Well, quite amazing stuff, really. It's everything we expected in this first half. Two sides that were going to battle it out up front to start with. Southland defence has just been superb at times and have denied Canterbury, who've had big domination in certain areas. You just got to wonder now whether that frustration will start to settle in this Canterbury side and whether the confidence will come in Southland.
Nothing between them at the break. Canterbury 3, Southland 3 in the Shield Challenge. AMI Stadium, Thursday evening, and it's 3-all. Southland the challengers, Canterbury the defenders. Sky commentators think Rob Penny won't be happy. Let's find out whether he is or not with Ian.
Rob, you've dominated a lot of areas of the game, but apart from on the board, what's been the message?
Yeah, just to keep creating the pressure, and hopefully those opportunities will turn into points where they're defending really well, and we've just got to be patient and try to build that pressure.
Otherwise, pretty happy?
Yeah, relatively happy. Yeah, I think our execution's been quite good, and we've just got to finish on those opportunities we're creating.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. All the best.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, there were thoughts of Rob Penny, and we were just guessing at what Dave Henderson and Simon Culhane had to say, but they looked pretty happy. Their eyes were bright, they were upbeat. So too the throngs of supporters that have come from far and wide to support these men in maroon in another attempt, marking their 50th year from success. It's a long time without the Shield. Certainly not going to compete with that. Race Jason Rutledge and Ian Smith back in position. Any change to those weather conditions? The rain looks to be heavier.
Yeah, it's just set in, I think, so we're stuck with this for the next 40 minutes. It will be greasy, it could be a bit ugly at times, but as Rob Penny says, patience and converting opportunities, that's what will win this game. Here's Stephen Brett.
Yes, the next 40 minutes determining Southland's future in this season. Canterbury know theirs. They're back here next week, next Friday night, for the first semi-final Air New Zealand Cup. They have a job in front of them first, though, to defend the Shield. And Maitland puts the ball high. Plenty of Canterbury players and Southland, and it's Canterbury that come up with it, and it's Colin Slade who took the first high ball in the first half. He's repeated the act in the second. Here comes the pressure that Rob Penny spoke of. They applied it in the first half. They want to maintain it in the second. Shortage in numbers there. Now the players get there, Canterbury-wise. Brett looks at a couple of options. He takes the wide pass out right and puts Maitland under a bit of pressure. He's got the strength and gets through the tackle of Lynn almost. There's still enough players there to ensure that Canterbury will present the ball to Keats. Made no progress, though, since that catch from Slade. Southland in that role of shoring up the defensive line quickly. There's a little probe on the short side. There's an inside pass in the offing. It's taken by Maitland. He keeps it in the field of play cleverly. Kunwau goes in, can't steal it for the Stags. It's Keats instead. Big chance, Canterbury, opening minutes. Brett shows the ball cut down. Good tackle, Joe Tuiniao. Keats wants it quickly. It's not come that fast. So they start again. Polo almost in slow motion. He lost it, putting it on the deck, controlled. Canterbury on the charge. The big man getting forced out. Good defence once more.
Oh, more of the same, Tom. Canterbury throwing everything at Southland again in these early minutes of the second half. The defence is held. It's desperation from Southland.
JP, Stephen Brett took a chance there. He decided to go on his own. There were numbers out to the left. I know it's difficult passing and catching conditions, but maybe early on he could have chosen to go a bit wider. He's the key for Canterbury. He's got to create.
Good communication between the front jumper and the hooker. And Canterbury will have to do it. They've come through illegally though. Just over keen.
Oh, pressure relief for Southland. Need a decent clearance here from Robbie Robinson.
And they get the throw too, of course, so that'll be a bonus. And he's not got it out because it's a very clever piece of play by Sean Maitland. The man has skills and he showed them. He'll get another chance. No, he won't. It's Keats that's come up and taken it forward and inside Southland's territory. Twilo got the pass away quick. Hands by the big man. Maitland on the acceleration. Ross didn't get his hands to it. Went straight to boot and he kicked it out on the ground. It'll be a Southland throw, but the pressure continues.
And boys and Kumayu it was this time. But that right-hand side is proving reasonably fruitful for Canterbury. Maitland in the space. He's been powerful this season, but not quite enough.
And Southland with a throw just out the 22, and communication not quite right there, but it still worked.
No. Up really, I just told you.
Early jumpers from Canterbury. So Southland.
It's two in a row, you're going early.
Get it from a set piece.
Should have just looked to kick long here.
They have the throw, so whether they want to go out or just high and chase, I think that's the option, and that's where they've gone. Might be just a smidge too far to apply the pressure they required, and Keats is such a small but nuggety individual. Power beyond his size. Brett over the top. Robinson will hope that it goes over the goal line. It hasn't. So now he's in a pocket. What can he do with it? This kick not out either. So big chance on the open side for Canterbury. Slade, not too many Canterbury players around him though. Does well. Keats puts the kick in. This one not great, but knocked back by Kunwau, so no damage done as far as Southland's concerned. This kick may not get to the goal line. It's struggling to do so, and it won't reach there. So it turns out to be a great one for Southland's cause, especially if they're going to get it back on halfway. Here's the runner, Horton. The crowd lifts. The ball knocked on from Robinson, and that will disappoint. The counter-attack is another knock on, so Canterbury will come back with the ball.
Well, he's full of promise, this kid, isn't he, JP? But he's not having his best night, it has to be said. In fact, neither number 10 is covering himself with glory at the moment.
No, I just don't think he's expecting that one initially, though, Smithy. To be fair to him, Horton shooting to the right. Looked like he was going to link up with those outside backs. And he gave the inside pass to Robinson. Should still have taken it because he did see it coming. He got the eyes up, but I don't think he was expecting it.
Yeah. It's certainly not short of excitement for a game locked at just 3 apiece.
Crouch.
The crowd, I suggest, have had their money's worth 45 minutes in. And the penalty right in front of the post. Here's a bonus. Robinson can make amends very quickly indeed for the recent mistake.
So who's that going against? The entire front row on their own ball. Oh, look at it now. Not often you see the front row drop it, putting the ball in.
Well, needless to say, quite a bit riding on this kick. And it's handy and well within the range on any other day. I'll give him a very good chance of slotting 3. And he does. So Southland double their points. They hit the lead for the first time in the match. First points after half-time. The DU challenges.
Ranfurly Shield Rugby is all about opportunities. Southland have been handed one and they've taken it. Noses in front.
Now what can Canterbury do in response? A very confident take by Beckwith. The kick from Cowan over the top. Manu will take it. Will he be strong enough to stay in? He'll lose it forward. Now Southland keen to counter surely. Rutledge goes for the kick. So they just want to play it down in Southland's territory. Maitland goes full distance himself and finds it. Robinson in good position. Keen to run it back. Puts it up in the air. Follows it up himself. Will have a chance to catch it. Doesn't do so. Athletic from Maitland. So Canterbury have it under control. Slade off the left boot. Just evaded the runner coming through. Saunders, he goes for the sideline hug, and it goes just a fraction too far for his cause.
Yeah, the plan is clear from Southland in this half. They're just going to play territory. They're just going to pump everything straight back at Canterbury, put the pressure back on them. This one from Saunders here is a little unlucky. Actually, they could easily have broken right.
JP, this far out, though, is that the tactic? I mean, if you're going to give it back to this polished Canterbury backline that often, are you going to pay once too often?
Well, I just wonder, Smithy, if they're just going to back the defence. I mean, the kick chase has been outstanding. Some of the kicks not so flash, but the cover defence and the chase has been good enough to keep Canterbury at bay. So I think they back it.
Crouch. Touch.
Crowd and good voice. But who for? Manu Keats. Great atmosphere here. The ball is shown by Brett and he busts through and he rolls over nicely and Manu does the protection job. Southland come up quickly though to make it difficult. The hands are quick. Bowmunga Marshall, he grabbed it, rolled over nicely. Ball available. Fierce contest at the breakdown as everyone expected. A Canterbury player down and injured.
James Broadhurst.
So the lock holding his shoulder. The remand short Canterbury. Paulo doesn't like his chances of getting through there and doesn't make any inroad. Broadhurst has got back into the fray. The kick from Brett, towering. Could be a lottery, isn't taken beautifully. The aerial battle just the way of the home side at the moment. Brett with the chip, the chase, the bounce is good for Kunwaiu. He thumps it into touch and goes for safety and gets it.
Again, they've broken that defence up a little there. Stephen Brett again chose to kick. Just wonder if there are opportunities. Not so much the Canterbury game, more like them to keep ball on hand, but they've been pressured into kicking too.
Broadhurst still sore. Taking it time to get it right. Whitelock on the bench.
21 for 12 for Canterbury, so they're going to go to the bench in the back. So Casey Laulala is on for Ryan Crotty. He's a little quiet tonight. Any opportunities for him? They're also lining up as well Sam Whitelock, just in case Broadhurst doesn't come good.
Laulala's handy, John.
Yeah, well, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? He has that ability to break a defensive line, and Canterbury haven't really looked like doing that tonight so far, so perhaps that's the reasoning behind the change. I mean, Crotty's reasonably heavily bandaged as well. Having said that, so's Laulala in the end arm.
Ball turned over. Southland have got it. Hardy can't hold on first time, does second one. Good protection from the captain. Mackintosh did well to protect the ball. Robinson looking to get it out of trouble. This is a good kick. Quick throw and contemplated by Maitland. He decides on discretion.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Right on the money from Robinson. That's what his side's looking for.
Great steal, Tamariki at the back there for Southland. 18 for 5, so Sam Whitelock on for Broadhurst.
One good young player for another. Throw from Poirot. Southland starting to win a bit of ball on Canterbury's throw. Is the tide turning? Certainly those 3 points has inspired them. This is Mackintosh, of course. Showed good composure there under pressure. The kick from Robinson. He's now backing himself on those towering balls, and this one not taken cleanly, knocked on, and it's a scrum inside the 22 for Canterbury.
Yeah, the tactics working for Southland. That one was another one on the money from Robinson, putting Colin Slade under pressure. Good chase as well. All the backs onside. Kumawayu coming from the inside. He was unopposed as he went up.
He'll be disappointed, Colin Slade. He's been pretty good under that high ball tonight. It's getting greasier and greasier, but he had a fair crack at it.
So Southland now, the backs have had few chances, certainly from set pieces, to show their wares. This is the best one so far. The pass not great to Saunders. He recovers it well enough. But the forwards are backing themselves to get there in numbers and win those breakdowns the second half. The stats are changing in their favour slowly. Tamariki goes backwards, but presents. Now it's Southland doing what Canterbury did so well in those opening salvos, just working it up very slowly. The question will be, is the Canterbury defence as efficient as the Southland one was? So far, yes. So, ball at the feet. The captain makes the call to bring in his fellow prop King. Oh, it's ripped clear by Paulo. Isn't he playing well? Now they're going to counter from their own half. Deep inside their own half, they went for the kick instead. Kinwayu's up in the air with the kick. No one's quite sure whether they're onside or not. One person who is Colin Slade. Knocked on by Rutledge. It won't matter. Canterbury have it anyway. They go once more to Brett. And he shows good vision there for the gap that opened up. Working hard in support was the halfback. Now it's Canterbury that need to come up with something. They trail. Brett's going for the long kick, which bounces unkindly initially for Saunders. And the kicking duel, we didn't really expect that today, but it's come in bucket loads. Kicks from both sides. Here's another. Usually the opening part of the match is full of those kicks. Umaga Marshall taking it as far as the 10-metre line, getting his team a penalty. Brett will surely have a look at the posts.
And that's come directly from another kicking era really, from Robbie Robinson.
On the fight, please, Tim.
Tried the banana kick variety to push it into that right-hand corner, straight into Umaga Marshall's hands. So he's taken it into Southland territory here. And ping for just lying on ball, not releasing the tackle player.
Brett can kick them from there. Ian, are you surprised about that?
I am actually. I thought it's not going to be much in this. It's painfully obvious, but I'll tell you, I would have thought he'd have had a crack.
Battled in that first attempt of the game, didn't he, Smithy? And there's a bit more rain around as well, so it'll be a toughie.
Whitelock gets his first line-out ball. It's sat there.
Dropped that. Dropped that dead, yeah.
Oh, both sides coming out with errors, crucial times. Sam Whitelock, just as he's taking the ball down, he might have hit it on one of his own players, I think.
Yeah, might be a bit unlucky there because he did drop it backwards and then it rolled forwards. So I'm not quite sure it was a knock-on, but that's the ruling. And these gentlemen here might be arguing in the toss on that. But this constant stream of injuries, JP, have broken up the flow of the game, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, to a degree. Neither side has really had a consistent passage where they've dominated. They've had fits and starts. The last few Canterbury lineouts have lost the last 3 or 4. Southland really getting up and attacking now. It's the last of those with Whitelock. That's not so much down to Southland, that was more just a lack of control.
The knees are shaking, the nerves are there. Rutledge attended to twice. And of course the backup hooker, David Hall, is already off. So he's going to stay on. Tamariki doing a lot of talking.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Held at the back and protected. Robinson's latest effort. Won't be too much of a tester for Umaga Marshall. The tackle is a good one.
Get away, Reed.
So too the release of the ball though. Take it in behind. Nicely picked up off his toes by Horton. Keeps it in the field of play intentionally, I suggest. They work it up from the back. Let's see some space. It's found and it's exploited.
Yeah, it's a goodie. It's a chess game now, Smithy.
Well, Southland be quite happy with that. It's using up the clock, and really Canterbury went nowhere. To be honest, they might have won the last part of the kicking duel, but Southland, if their line-out holds, get the ball back, and you know what they're going to do, they're going to hoist it again. So at some point, you're right, JP, Canterbury might just have to say hands rather than feet.
Definitely, I think the weather's playing a part, the wet ball making people reticent. Chris Pollock concerned about the time being taken and the talk. Certainly the crowd has got right in behind this fixture. Good ball from Beckwith, but Cowan this time drops it. So mistakes coming both sides.
Well, that's pressure.
It must be, mustn't it? Because it's just happening time and time again. And that was pretty clean ball, Smithy, wasn't it?
It was. Big change here for Canterbury. Interesting change too. 22 for 15. So that's James Patterson for Colin Slade. Colin Slade certainly is a game breaker. It's a bit of a gamble. So that means Maitland goes back to fullback. Yeah. Patterson on the right wing.
Yeah, well, just wonder, they might be looking for his counter-attacking ability. Maitland's, Smithy. I think Slade's been his best tonight, has he?
James Patterson, of course, is transferred to Southland, so he'll come up with a shield either way. I'd love to be a successful defender, I'm sure, though, as that run was punishing. And now Canterbury, a rare mistake in the backs.
It's broken down again for Canterbury. It's nicely worked from the scrum. Probably 10-15 metres in behind the tackle line. And Stephen Brett saw a wall of maroon jerseys, fired the pass. Timing not there.
Another delay. Rutledge again, this time just a contact lens change, I think.
So JP, 9 points scored in coming up for an hour of rugby. You've got to be thinking that Stephen Brett's got to back his drop goal prowess again, because of course Canterbury only have to draw this to hold on to it. The position is assured in terms of topping the table. And it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot more points scored. So any time you get an opportunity to perhaps get 3, I think you've got to take them.
Yeah, I think that must come into the thinking soon. There's no doubting. Coming into this match, I had a quick look. Actually, I think he was 1 from 6 drop goals. So he's now, if that's the case, 2 from 7. No, he had another one tonight, doesn't he? 2 from 8.
Yep. I think Southland are none from 5 or 6. So
the results all round are great.
Yeah, the stats can be misleading. Canterbury have run themselves.
Brilliant work at the front. I got a feeling that was Sam Whitelock. He stole that in the air.
Oh, and here the Canterbury players too. And that scrum was awarded. That's a boost. He just gets, the left hand in, you're right, Smithy. And then the right hand on as well. It's superb work.
Well, you can just see if anyone has just a little bit of success, JP, the whole team lifts about 10 notches.
It turns the whole feel of the game, doesn't it?
It'll be one of those moments that'll hold the key to this match. Who will be turning the key? Turning the scrum of Southland, not enough to disrupt possession. Brett shows it, inside pass, Patterson on the charge into the 22. Presents the ball, Keats comes through with it, but knocks it on first.
This is a real problem area for Canterbury. Again, that set phase work done nicely. He's just taken his eyes off that. Tyson Keats before clearing, didn't secure the ball. Simple error.
So just those little errors disrupting the entire flow, but because both teams are making about the same amount, it's maintaining our interest.
Well, just on edge. I think all these players, the difference is there. I mean, the territory advantage still. Possession, a huge amount in it. Certainly an advantage to Canterbury. And that's still a massive advantage, given they've only taken 3 points.
I'm wondering what the atmosphere is like at all those gatherings down south. I know the likes of Southport are having a staff function at the Bluff Bowling Club there in huge numbers. They'll be watching in, and they'll be keeping quite quiet at the moment because there's just so much tension.
Yeah, that tackles made stat was an interesting one too, Tom. We spoke about that at the half-time mark, whether that would count against the Southland team. Eventually they made it, I think, more than twice as many tackles in Canterbury, but they just seem that sort of side. That's the way they play their rugby, isn't it? They just keep on tackling. They don't seem to run out of steam.
Yeah, they've had very few defensive lapses. At one point, I think it was 8 games into the competition, they conceded 7 tries, so they pride themselves on that part of the game. It might not be the prettiest, but when you're 20 minutes away from the winning of the Ranfurly Shield and you've only had 28% of the territory and 45% of the ball, you're doing something right. The last quarter of this match, the last Ranfurly Shield game for 2010. No matter what happens here, it's no longer on the shelf to be challenged. Hustled and bustled, but I think Cowan did well enough to roll over, make it available. Canterbury back themselves to spread out, try and nullify the defence around the fringes, but Rutledge gets his body low early.
Well, counter-rucking Canterbury.
It's hard work, those breakdowns, but it's won by the Stags, and Robinson's kick just gets them out of trouble. Good distance and good direction. Out close to the 10-metre mark, if not on it.
And another tremendous clearance from Robinson under pressure. Stephen Brett flew at him. He's seen that out the corner of his eye as well. Got into trouble at scrum time, and then the clearance from here from the breakdown. Look at Brett.
2 changes for Southland at a very key moment in the match. We got 18 for 6, so that's Dion Bates on for John Hardy, who has had a stellar season. Also, Joe Tuino has been replaced too by Dave Gannon in 17.
There's the Irishman from Dublin. And Hardy, who got a knock last week. He will enjoy the rest. Keats, Brett. And got chances through Bateman. But Southland Oh, have given Canterbury a shot at goal here. Surely this one in front of the post straight on is tempting.
Yes, you've dived on it and then got up. Stay up on your feet.
One of those
Got to
defenders.
have a go, JP, I think, from here.
I think so, Smithy. Yeah. Let's just have a look here. Bateman has a crack. Who is it? Ah, there it is there.
And those messy calls, isn't it?
Yeah, defender went straight onto the ground and onto the ball and then onto his feet, but he couldn't go to ground in the first place. That's why he was pinged.
Well, it's interesting looking at the stand behind the post he's kicking at. The flags to the left are absolutely limp, no movement at all. To the right, there's a bit of a breeze, a cross breeze, right left as Stephen Brett looks at the post.
There's so many Southlanders here, I don't think the crowd is going to tell us whether it's over or not.
Very short run up, JP.
Dead straight, yeah.
It's obviously going for accuracy. A high pressure kick from Stephen Brett from 46 metres out. He strikes it. He strikes it quite well. And it's to the left, he's missed. Southland stay up by 3.
The goal kicking has never been his greatest strength. And they're only going to get harder from here.
Not easy shots though, John.
Oh, it's tough. It's the end of his range quite clearly.
Southland. Now they start thinking 3-point lead might just be enough. Still a long way out to go too defensive. No attempt to catch it. Manu, he's looked good, he's chipped, he's chased. Slightly impeded, but no problems. Ball on the ground. Canterbury got there, but not in time to turn it over. Cowan does well with this kick because there's only one Canterbury defender back with a narrow angle. And that's, of course, the fullback now, Maitland. Robinson. This kick. Another shallow one with height. Not taken cleanly, not touched by anyone. Recovered. Whitelocked the man who did so. Wasn't picture perfect, but it doesn't matter as far as they're concerned. Kunwayu, it beats him on the bounce. It'll put Southland back inside their 22, but he'll still have time before Patterson gets there to make it safe, and not a bad job, but the quick throw-in is going to find Southland flat-footed, but Rutledge is aware of the danger. He won't stop Bateman as he makes his way through. Southland coming through and making life difficult, but not able to turn it over. And lots of numbers, and Farah off to Kunwayu, hands it back. Southland again to Robinson. They've got numbers wide here. The shortage of defenders have gone for the kick. And that will be protected by Bateman, the captain. He hasn't put it into touch. What's the chase like on Robinson? He's taken down, and a very good tackle, Tim Bateman. Southland there in numbers. 15 minutes to go. Don't they know it? Ball sitting there. Cowan. Oh, huge tackle on Rutledge, but he has the wherewithal to protect it. Tamariki. They're not going to rumble it up for 15 minutes, so isolation, but good strength. Cowan, Robinson, Lynn, big tackles made. Saunders nowhere to go. It's okay as far as the Stags are concerned, they still have it. The drop goal from Robinson. How high, how straight, how accurate. Hits the upright, how unlucky. The clearance kick though gets Canterbury out of trouble. Oh, so close.
Oh, Bobby Robinson. You don't get any closer than that. Very unlucky. Struck it beautifully. He had plenty of time. There wasn't too much pressure. You could see it was going to have the distance just. Not quite the accuracy, although I go back to that counter-attack opportunity, Smithy, quite a few moments ago. Southland, about a 5-on-2. They have the luxury, they can take territory, but teams don't often win the Ranfurly Shield if they don't attack at some stage.
I'll tell you what, there's 50 years worth of history in some of this atmosphere down here, I can tell you that, Tom. I know you've got a lovely position up there, but I'm sure if you really quite like it down here too, because your boys, your Southland boys, are making a hell of a racket. They're up off the bench, they're spurring them on, they believe. This fella, he hadn't sat down since he's been substituted.
Oh, we can hear it up here, Smithy. It's just cacophony and noise no matter who's got the ball, which creates a wonderful Shield atmosphere. That's what that does for the competition. And is that a turning point, John, or not? It could be, you just don't know, do you?
Well, that breathing space it would have given them, of course. The draw, very good to Southland. They got out of that territory momentarily anyway.
Jimmy Cowan pacing up and down the touchline. 11 minutes to go. 12 minutes as it might be, but Southland are spending a lot more time down in this half of the field. The stats don't really show that 70-30, but they had a big deficit to make up in the first half. Here's Cowan. The Scott version. It's not able to clear it, so he gets dragged in. Is there a salvage job for Canterbury somewhere in this talented lineup? Big tackle. They just keep coming, those huge hits. Time is in favour of Southland as you get closer. Is there another drop kick on? No, it's a grubber. And that's quite a good one because it puts Maitland under a huge pressure. It's charged down, but this time Canterbury get the benefit of a dropout from a charge down.
Yeah, that was a heady nudge for Robinson along the deck. Harder to handle. It just takes that much longer for the player at the back to collect it and get his kick away, and he was under pressure because of that, and that could have gone anywhere.
Southland just look a bit more secure when they've actually got the ball in hand, and no better example was Kenny Lynn when he was hit by Casey Laulala midfield there. Did brilliantly to get that back.
Now back inside their own half. Robinson is just intent on the towering bombs. Dropped, knocked on. Southland ball, Southland advantage. Rutledge on the run. Lynn helping out. Kunwayu on the charge. Advantage over, as the referee says. Lynn again. Jason clearing out, Jason Rutledge. Ball controlled by Cowan. They can sense it now, Southland. It's a matter of looking after what position they've got. Mackintosh showing the way. The tension on the face of Lester Rutledge tells it all. Now it's 11 minutes to go. Robinson again with another kick across field, this time more easily fielded by Maitland, who likes his chances of charging through the tackle but fails. Ball has been released, turned over by Bates. Gannon did well to control it on the ground. Here's another surge where the forwards have grown in stature. The energy has just lifted so much since they got into the lead. It's a different side.
Off the leg.
Cowan, good ball control, long period of ball control. Laulala with another huge hit.
21.
Can't do anything about the turnover though. 10-minute countdown begins. Just keeping it away from Canterbury hands is the key, and Beckwith does that, slips the pass to Rutledge. Getting ever so closer now, Southland. And they know that every second they can eat up. An offside, a chance for another three if they want it. Rutledge penalty.
Oh, tremendous patience and ball control from the Southland side, and confidence as well. They're playing their game. And as Ian Smith pointed out just a few moments ago, they're just totally confident in the approach they're taking to this Canterbury side when they get down there. And certainly make sure they get down there in the first instance, and then they hold ball. This is where Mackintosh decided to run. He actually had the opportunity to mark that ball. He received it in the 22, tried to run, but as always, that Southland defence has been there in numbers. Ball taken short to the right. Then they just ground away with the runners. 1-2, Rutledge involved again.
Guys, get the water bottles up,
Tremendous
please.
phase.
Well, that's fine. Leave the bottles on the sideline.
And the Canterbury defenders were just sucked into that.
Well, calling on every aspect of help they can. Robinson can make Canterbury's life so more difficult. It's pretty good as far as he's concerned. For Southland, it's brilliant. Canterbury need a converted try if they want to keep that log of wood, thanks to that penalty by Robbie Robinson.
Well, that certainly changed the complexion of this game now. Canterbury must attack.
Well, change Colin Slade going back on, so, gee, I don't know, rules these days. It didn't look like it was a blood bin situation for him, but he's back on for Umaga Marshall.
Well, they need to do everything they can to get the ball, but no problems for Gannon. Cowan kicks it back to Canterbury, so here's an opportunity they're looking for. Slade with his kick. The Southland tactic, which is worthwhile, it's come off. The Canterbury player, as the referee ruled. Chip from Cowan. It's going to set up nicely though for Slade. Whitelock. He needs help. He gets it. Now Canterbury have to look after the ball. Can they conjure up a try? Laulala's the one man who could do so. James Patterson against his new teammates shows no mercy. Takes it up to the halfway. Tackling is strong. You can see where the motivation is. It's a Canterbury penalty for Southland, is coming over the top, just too enthusiastic.
Wow, Dion Bates just cut it down in its tracks, the counter-attack. And the Southland boys just wanted to take advantage of it and plough on and help their mate. Probably just a little bit over the top. But danger averted for the meantime.
Canterbury have not spent a lot of time in the recent moments down Southland's way.
Boom on Patterson. It was a great tackle. Ball almost dislodged. I think Patterson just managed to hold on to it.
What a finish we've got to this match. Well, there's 10,500 approximately in the stand. They're making the noise of a crowd twice that size. This is why the Shield will always be the pinnacle achievement in New Zealand football, to engender such passion on both sides. Now the Canterbury pride will be tested. Tackling was timed well, but not affected completely. So it's been held up. Southland will be hoping it stays that way. Canterbury the reverse. No sign of it coming out at the moment. The referee will be keen on a restart. Now the ball comes free. But it's a hand in there, gives it back to Southland.
A key decision, Kuwayu on Colin Slade, just to slow up that movement again.
Thanks, Vinny.
Give his fellow defenders the opportunity. And this defensive effort from Southland has been remarkable. They've built their game around it and been totally confident in it. Bateman with a wide pass to Slade. Kinwai, who had read it, come out of his line early. Opened up the opportunity for Cowell to get his hands on ball with other supporters. And then it's Tyson Keats who's trying to put one of the Southland players to deck, who now has the ball, and that's where the penalty came.
Not out. Will that be expensive? There's been a lot of errors in this match, but because both sides have made them, the excitement has never abated. This is Bateman. Keats. Now, they will surely use the skill set they have in the backs. Maitland's made the break that they most needed. Manu hangs on. And there's a penalty coming Canterbury's way. The advantage will apply. What will happen from this position? Canterbury want 3 points, get close enough. They'll come back to the penalty. And I think they'll plug the corner, JP.
Well, what have they got? Just over 4 minutes. It's not a long time.
Number 2 on 8.
There's a minute and a half or so with a kick. This is the Maitland break. Didn't look like there was much on, but he just put the hammer down enough. Busted a couple, and I think Rutledge was taken there for early tackle.
Well, Maitland is the injured player. I think Canterbury got a kick in the corner and just trust their line out and drive if they can. They score wide. That's going to put a hell of a lot on Stephen Brett.
They score under the posts, Ian. It'll put a hell of a lot on whoever's kicking the goal.
This is when you don't want to be a goal kicker.
That's right, JP. That is dead right. Robinson's not feeling too bad about it at the moment. 3 minutes and counting.
Phenomenal atmosphere for half a ground, I'll tell you.
Good take at the back. No chance to drive on that, but they're very close to the posts. Control it better at the back this time. Southland are so desperate for it. They've pinched it. That could be the moment. There's been a few. We think the game may have turned on, and that, this close to the finish, surely a crucial one.
Well, it was either Boys or Mackintosh. I think it was the skipper. Got the hands in there at exactly the right time.
Tyson Keats had a wee bobble himself, but the referee signalled that it had gone backwards, so I think it might have forced him into having a dab.
Even if Robinson kicks it 5 metres up the field, out is more important this time, no mistake.
Yeah, here's Keats there as a wee. Well, it was ruled to go backwards, could have been called knock on, so he has to dab. And then who is it that gets in there?
Well, it wasn't Mackintosh, I think it might be Boys.
Yeah, Boys again.
I know that former All Black Kevin Laidlaw played in that match in 59. It is his first ever bet on a rugby match tonight. He's placed it on Southland. He's sitting there with 2 minutes to go.
That'd be a few bob.
Before he has to tell his wife that he's had the bet. Now, the ball available. This is the time that they can just rumble it. They've chosen not to. They've chosen to give it back to Canterbury, and Patterson has it. He'll spread it wide, as will Canterbury. Surprising tactic by Southland with that time ticking by. Up to the halfway, Canterbury ball, danger, has to be snuffed out. The defence that has been so good for Southland has to be again once more. Canterbury, never to say die. They get the pass out. They're getting very close to the touch and going to have to shore up. The defenders on their last legs. They need to hang on for another minute. Canterbury need to make something happen. If they scored a try here, wouldn't that be a priceless moment in Shield history?
He's the tackler. He's out now.
No less so for Southland if they can defend it. There's a scrum. It'll be the last one of the match.
Jason Rutledge, what a night he has had. Right in amongst every single thing in this match.
Yeah, the work rate of not just him, but that entire pack and defence as a whole. 2 or 3 times in that movement again, they just shot up on the outsides, forced that Canterbury attacker to run inside.
Let's go.
And getting the hurry up now. Last throw of the dice for Canterbury.
The Southland reserves trying to inspire the crowd, not that they need it. These are the last moments of an epic struggle. Keats, can Canterbury come up with something to defend the Loggerwood? Can Southland hold on in these dying seconds? Tackle their hearts out. That's what they've done for the whole 80 minutes. They're doing it again. 22 metres to go. Canterbury also out on their feet. Both teams exhausted. A turnover may determine the final outcome of the match. All Southland need to do is kick it out. They're taking their time over it. No mistakes will be the call. There's a penalty. That will be the Shield changeover. Jimmy Cannon is delighted. So too the rest of the Southland team. Stand by for an eruption. Half a century of waiting is over.
Okay, we're waiting for the ball.
The ball will need to be cleared to touch. It'll be one of the finest moments in Southland rugby history. They've won the Ranfurly Shield. And boy, are they delighted. The party begins tonight, and that party goes on all summer.
Brilliant stuff, Southland. An absolutely outstanding display of courage in defence. A game built on defence, but belief, amazing belief within the side. They've built that up all season, and they were just too good tonight.
Mass hysteria is the only way to describe it. Joyous delight reigns throughout the squad. Every single member, on crutches or not, joining in on the celebration. And New Zealand rugby goes up another notch in terms of excitement and achievement. A stunning victory. And we'll be staying for the presentation, and a desolate Canterbury side on reflection, JP. They'll be absolutely gutted they've lost that Shield.
Oh, of course they will, Tom, but they can't complain against a side that's played like this. That had just been too hard to beat against most sides in this competition tonight. Canterbury, sure, they had some chances, but so did Southland.
Well, a game built on fantastic defence. They held out to half-time. They held a slender lead. They edged forward on that lead. They protected it. Every time they needed to shore up on the defensive screen, they performed. Here's the kick. Here's their reaction. It goes down in history.
Well, they just built in belief, didn't they? That second half, they came out with a plan. They believed in it. It got better and better. The kicking got better and better. It got higher, actually, and they pressured that Canterbury defence. Didn't handle it quite so well.
Well, the presentation will begin in moments' time, and it'll be more elation. Not a single Southland supporter in the stand has left. They haven't left their seats. They want to be part of this. It could be a long time before it happens again.
I don't think they'll leave the city for a while, actually, Todd, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure they'll be welcome because they've been such hardy supporters. 300 from afar, many from within the city itself.
Well, it's a tremendous thing that goes to some of these players. You think of the likes of Jason Rutledge and some of his mates who've been there that long, that they get this opportunity.
Those guys from the 59 team, they'll be the proudest of them all. They've been happy to hand over the mantle that they've held for 50 years. Jason Rutledge, such an integral part of the whole campaign. And Ian Smith is trying to start the presentation ceremony, but nobody's going along, and surely that's a moment Jamie Mackintosh will want to savour.
There's not much else like it, Tom. Ranfurly Shield rugby. I'm pretty jealous myself right here and now. I never held it, I never won it, played in a few, but it's got to be a great feeling.
Of course, Chris King's been part of the Canterbury setup when they've had it, but that will not compare with this. Here's Ian Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can just get the Southland boys back here, we can give them what they've come for. So if Jamie Mackintosh can bring his lads over here, it's waiting for you on this table. Well, he's making his way here, folks. On behalf of the Canterbury Rugby Union, the Vice President, Mr. Ken Pope, come forward, say a few words, and then I'll ask George Whitelock, the Canterbury captain, to hand the shield over to Jamie Mackintosh.
Thanks, Ian. On behalf of the Canterbury Rugby Football Union, I'd like to welcome everyone here to the AMI Stadium tonight, in particular to the great Southland side, their management, the board members, the many supporters that have made the trip north, and also our own loyal fans. The Ranfurly Shield holds a very special place in Canterbury and also in New Zealand rugby history. And when you play for it, you create a little bit of history when you win it. So I congratulate Southland on their victory tonight and the new Ranfurly Shield holders. I suppose if there's any consolation, the Ranfurly Shield will stay for the summer in the South Island. I've got no doubt that there's a whole bunch of people back in Southland waiting for the return of this team so they can share the achievements that they've done tonight. So once again, I'd congratulate Southland on their victory tonight, the Ranfurly Shield holders, and ask George Whitelock, the Canterbury captain, to come forward and present the shield to Southland. George.
Firstly, congratulations, Southland. You guys really took it to us out there, and yeah, well deserved. My boys, we've got a semi-final look forward to next week, so keep your heads high, and we'll look forward to that. Finish the job.
Just on behalf of Southland, obviously the Canterbury boys, here's a massive day, and thanks to everyone for coming up. I mean, look at you, you're unreal. And good luck for the semi-finals, and hopefully we're there too, so we might bump into you later on. Cheers.
Remember this day. Where were you on the 22nd of October 2009? We were at AMI Stadium watching the Shield change hands from Canterbury to Southland.